Hi everyone, welcome to the Auras. My name is Mansu, and in my previous videos, I have got a few comments asking me to create a video on how to serve React app using Spring Boot backend. So we will do that in this video. But instead of just serving React app, we will make it somewhat generic so that you can serve any kind of single page application from Spring Boot backend. This is the README of this project, so you can go through this README. So README contains the capabilities of this project, and there is this file setup new app inside docs directory, which contains all the things which we will cover in this video today. So I will go through this file only so that we don't miss any step. So since we want to serve React app from Spring Boot backend, so not only React app, any single page application using Spring Boot backend. So first of all, we need to create a Spring Boot app. So you can go to Spring Initializer website and create the app. So you need these two dependencies minimum, web MVC and Timely, but you can add Spring Security as well if you want to leverage that. So I went ahead, I created this project and I added these three dependencies. Now, after that, we need to create a single page application. So, yep. So in order to create single page application, there are few steps mentioned here which we need to follow. So let's just follow them one by one. First of all, we need to create a sub project. So in Gradle, sub project is called module as well, and we are calling it app1. So let's create that. So I'm using IntelliJ IDEA. So I can right click on the root project and new module, and let me call it app1. And I will choose build system as Gradle, and this is project as we need to specify JDK as well. So we want to keep it same as project JDK. Then Gradle DSL, I will choose Kotlin. In the advanced setting, you can configure it if you want. You can add sample code as well if you don't want to do that. And I will click on create. So here app1 is being created. And if you see when you create a module that is included in settings.gradle.kts. So this is what makes it a sub project of your root project. Now the second step is to add a plugin. So we will be using one plugin which will be responsible to execute the node and npm scripts, and that will build our uh, front end application as well. And after that, we will copy those build uh, files into our root project. So let's add this plugin. So I will add all these references in the video description, and they are added in the README file as well at the bottom. So we need to add this plugin, Gradle Node plugin. So I already mentioned this plugin name and version here. So let me go to app1 and inside build.gradle.kts plugin. So now this plugin has been added. Now we can sync the project here. So we will see if there is any error. So there is no error. Now we need to add the configuration for the node. So it provides you two options. This plugin provides you two options. Either you can use the node npm these tools installed on your machine, or this plugin can download these for you in this project. So we want to download it in this project so that the setup will be similar across all the teammates. So for that, we can just do this node. So we need to do this node configuration. So in the reference, you can in the reference link for this plugin, you can see more options for this node here. So we are saying download equals to true. That means it will download the node for this app, and this is the version of the node. So we are not specifying anything related to npm or npx or anything. In that case, it will use those tools which comes with this node. So node will be downloaded. Then the next is we need to build the project. So this plugin provides one task called npm setup. Let me run that. Gradle app one npm setup. Yeah, and this task will download the node. So if you see in .gradle nodejs, we have this node installed. So instead of building the project, we need to do like say setup node gradle. What was the task? npm setup app1 npm setup. So this task is provided by this Gradle node plugin. So node is installed inside the .gradle directory and under F1. Now let's say you need to create. Let's say you need to create or you need to run npm, npx or node, but you need to refer to this node which is in your project, not the one installed on your machine. So what you need to do is you need to execute these scripts. So you can create these scripts. Let me copy this one and let me go to app1 and I will say node. Let me create a new file in app1, new file node. Okay, node is already there. Node, yeah. So we have this one. So here we need to specify the path .gradle nodejs and then node path. So I will just copy path here. Okay, so this is node. Now let me copy this one and I will create another file npm. So we can do things like that, but I don't want to do that. So let me just show you. So I will say nvm use v20 so that I'm using version 20 on my machine. So if I say node version, it is 20.18.1. But if I say node, I need to make it executable. And if I say node version, so now in this case, I am using the node installed for this project. I can go do this as well, node. So it is running node in this interactive cell. Let me exit out of it. So you can do things like that. And once you have these scripts, you can use these scripts in normal way in order to create project or something. But for F1, I don't want to create project manually. So I already have this uh, F1. I already built it. I basically copied it from some from React tutorial. So this will be a React app. So I will just put those here. So first of all, let me remove this source directly. So rm rf src. Okay, so now we don't have any source. And here I will copy those. So let me go here. Sorry. Yep. So if I say uh, ls spring spa back and app1. So here we have few things. We have build.gradle.kts. So we don't want to copy this. We want to copy package.json, public and src. So rm, sorry, not rm, cp r spring spa back package.json, public src into app1. Okay, so this is in back and then app one. Okay, so this has been copied here. So this is a simple React app. So inside SRC we have main and test. So let me just delete those. Okay, so we have index.html inside public. Then inside SRC we have some JavaScript files. So this is basically a React app, nothing else. Go to package.json, and this React app was created using these React scripts. So we are fine here. So let me remove this first. Okay, and I will go to index.js. Let me remove this because these are what I have added. These are not included by default. So our app one is ready. So we have created the app one. So we did not created it using an npm create or anything. Yeah. Now after that, we would want to run npm install or npm run build commands, but we don't want to do them using this /npm because we want to integrate them with Gradle build tool. So this Gradle node plugin already provides this npm install task, which runs npm install, and where npm is picked up by this downloaded npm. So, but in order to build, we need to create a task. So let me just copy this one from here to here. So we need to import it npm task, and this is provided by this plugin. So we are creating a build web app task. So this depends on npm install, so that whenever we try to build that, first we install all the required dependencies, and it will run this npm run build. So basically, it will run npm run build command, and these are its inputs file. So this is related to Gradle caching. So if there is any change in inputs or in this output, then Gradle treat that as outdated build, outdated run of the task, and it runs the task again if needed. And we are saying that this is the output directory dist. So we are saying dist here, and, but run build. So by default, this will build in the um, go to package.json. Yeah, build. So build by default builds in the build directory. So it will create a build inside F1, and there it will put the resources. But what we want is inside build, we want to create a new directory called web app, and we want to put the uh, build output there. So for that, let me see the configuration from the backup. We need to do cat. Right. So this is the build web app which you want to use. Okay. So we are setting this environment variable build path. So this React script will read this build path. So we are saying this build path is build inside build directory, create a web app directory, and use that as build path. So and in the outputs as well, we are specifying the same as our output. So this is used for two things. First, for Gradle cache, as I already mentioned, and second for so that other task can see uh, where this task is uh, keeping its outputs. So it's easier to copy output from other tasks and treat them as input for the current task. So this is it. So yeah, one thing which I think I already mentioned, I'm using React script, so which is deprecated by the way, and vite is something used nowadays. But I just wanted to give you example of both of these build tools for single page applications. So we will see another example using vite as well. Okay. So that's how we build the web app. Okay. Yeah. Now this is a task, but we need to run this task before process resource task. So process resource task uh, is run after generating the classes, before building the jar file, before building the Docker image, and before running the application. So what you want is where process resource task should run after come we finish building the web app. So I will just copy this one, and so now process resource task depends on build web app. So now we are sure that whenever we run our Spring Boot application, then build app will always get executed. Okay. So that is it. And but now we need to configure the root project as well. So let's uh, let's look at what happens when we build it. Gradle w, I will say build. Then it's doing npm install in app1, because build web app depends on npm install. So npm install will take some time because we are running it for the first time. And after npm install, it will run the task build web app. So it will take some time. Now it is running build web app task, and build is successful. So now you can see inside build, we created a directory called web app, and there it put all the build output. Now we need to copy this build output from here to this root level build directory, build resources, and insert templates, something like that. So that it can be served using Spring Boot app. So that's what the next step is. So now what we want is the build files will be copied from sub projects build output directory to build resources main templates, and inside templates we want a directory for each sub project. So for that we just copy this configuration and put it in the root projects build. So that's it. So what we are doing is for each sub project, if there is this build web app task, then copy the output of build web app. So that's why we specify this outputs uh, so that this task will know where to copy the resources from. So copy the resources from output of build web app and put them in template slash the web app name. That means this subproject's name direct. So let's save it, and let me do this gradle w process resources. So it is doing npm install in app1, but that won't take much of the time. Then doing build web app, and done. So if you go to build resources, main templates, inside templates we have app1. So that is working fine. Okay. So now uh, that is present. Now the output of app1 is present in this templates app1 directory, but now we need to serve them. So for that we will need to create a controller. So let me create a controller here as rc main Java, and I will create a new Java class. I will say sp dot web controller. Now inside web, this is web controller. So let me annotate it with controller, and let's see. I will copy this one and paste this here. Yeah. So what we are doing is for app1, whenever someone wants to go to app1, then we are returning app1 index. So this will look for app1 index.html inside templates, and it will find the file. And we want to make app1 as default so that if someone just goes to the default page, then they will be redirected to the app1. So that's what I want. And I will now start the application. Okay. Let me go to browser, localhost 8080. And we are getting empty page. I will go to network and I will let me just zoom, refresh. Now for app1, we are getting this index.html. But if you look at the request for this JS and CSS, see these requests are for slash static as JS main. So it is trying to get the resources from this static directory, but this does not exist. This file does not exist because by default it will try to look in the main static, but there is no static directory. So in order to, but the static directory is inside templates app1 static. So ideally it should ask for app1 static js main dot js, but that is not present there. So in order to fix this problem, so this problem is mentioned here. So we need two configurations. First, we need to make single page application look for assets in the correct directories. So for example, app1 should look for assets related to app1 directory and things like that. So now this depends on the build tool you are using for single page application. So in case of this one, in case of React script, what you do is create you create this property in package.json home page, and its value should be the prefix. So we are saying app1. So if I restart the application, so it will rebuild that. So earlier you can even see here in the index.html for JS, src start with slash static. If I refresh it again, now app1, now this is start with slash app1. Similarly for CSS also start with slash app1. Still we are getting error because this is trying to get these files, but by default Spring assumes the assets to be inside uh, static directory alongside templates, but now these assets are inside template only. So we need to configure that as well. So we can configure this property and we can specify where to look for assets. So we are saying that assets are present in class path static or class path templates. So let me copy this one and I will put this in application.properties. So I will put that here. Okay. And I will restart the application and reload the page. Okay, now you can see it's working fine. So it is trying to get the asset from app1 and the Spring is also returning the fine. So that is working. Okay. So if we see, we can go to hello here. We can go to tic-tac-toe. So these are two routes created and dashboard sends to app2 and app2 is not present yet. But even we have some problem in hello and tic-tac-toe. So for example, let me go to app here, app1, right? Now click on hello. Now look at the URL. So in from the URL app1 has been removed and hello is here. Similarly, if we go to tic-tac-toe, it is here. So the app may not break, but the issue is that if you refresh the page now, you will try to go to tic-tac-toe, which does not exist. So, so this is the issue. Now you can solve them. So some apps may have this issue, some apps may not have this issue. It depends on the routing library which you are using in single page application to how to fix this issue. So uh, in in the current app we are using React Router DOM, and in order to fix that issue, we need to use this base name so that all the routes will start from this prefix. So if I go to index.js in the browser router, I will revert the change. So base name is app1. Now I will restart the app and I will just go to home. Okay. So now if I click on hello, now you can see hello is appended to app1. Similarly, tic-tac-toe. But if we restart it, again we are getting the same error. Now in this case, this is another problem related to routing. So we are getting 404 because we are trying to go to app1 tic-tac-toe, and there is no uh, controller mapping grid for app1 tic-tac-toe in our Spring application. So we need to define that. So we can do something like this. I will just copy this one and paste it here. Okay. So what we are saying is after app1, if there is any path, then just forward the request to app1. So here the important thing to note is that we are not redirecting to app1. So if we redirect to app1, in that case, this tic-tac-toe is removed from the URL, and then the routing will not work. But if we just forward the request, that means it will get the response from this app1 mapping. It will return the index.html, and in the index.html we have the logic of routing using that routing library. So that will handle everything using this path in the URL. So I will just restart the application, and if I reload the page, see, we are in the tic-tac-toe. Let's go to hello and reload the page, and we are in hello. So that is working fine. Okay. Now let's see the Spring Security configuration. So Spring Security configuration is like rest of the projects normal configuration. There is no special thing about single page applications. So this is the basic configuration. Let me copy it and I will explain it to you. So this is security config. So basically same configuration is here. I have just commented route. I will. So earlier I was allowing all the request permit all. So that's why we are not required to be logged in. Now here you can specify whatever configuration you want. So for example, you want that for one app, you want the users to be authenticated, but for second app, you want users to have authenticated using multiple authentication schemes, for example, OTT and the password, and also admin role should be there. So I have already created a video regarding this multi-factor authentication and Spring Security. So I will put the link in the description. Uh, but the point to note here is that you based on the paths of the apps, you can specify whatever uh, uh, authentication configuration or authorization configuration you want. So that is it. So if I save it, I will restart it and I will go here. Now we need to log in. Let me log in using Alice, and we are here. Now if we try to go to dashboard, see this is the dashboard. So we are trying to go to app 2, and since multi-factor is authentication is configured, so we need to log in using token as well. And this is the token. Click on sign in. We are getting 404 because app 2 does not exist. It will exist in a few minutes. Okay. Then we go to next step. Yeah. Now the next is how to access the backend resources. So for example, from single page application, you need to make some request to backend. So backend, in this case, backend is our current app only. So how do you do that? So just normal face request. Uh, Let me show you this hello world.js. So in the hello world JS, there is this button, who am I? So whenever you click on this button, this say hello function is invoked. So this sends the fetch request to resources me endpoint, and yeah, and it sets the username, and the username is being displayed here. This hi and then username, and by default the value of username is there. So that's why we see this one. That's why we see hi there. Now, whenever you send this request, since you are sending to the same origin, all the cookies will be sent back. So the session with the backend will be maintained. So you don't need to send the like cookie explicitly or some authentication token or anything. Everything will be sent automatically. So we have this controller already in place. So in the API resource controller, so this is the controller, and the authentication is injected by Spring Security automatically, and we are just sending the username and all the authorities back. So let's click on who am I, and we can see it's Alice. So this is the request. So in the request, this is the response header. In the request headers, we are sending everything. We are sending this cookie, JSON ID, and whatever is required. So no additional configuration is required, and we are getting the response back. Okay. Now the next is when we want to send mutating request. That means request with the method post, put, patch, deletes, and things like that. So in this case, you will get some error. So for example, we have this add book button. So what this does is, um, let me go to hello.js. Okay, so for now, I will just remove this CSRF logic. So I will explain that to you later. Okay, so we are sending a post request. Uh, so this is the controller, very simple controller. It takes a map and returns the same map back. We are creating a dummy book here, and we are sending a post request to resource books. We are sending the content type application JSON, and yeah, we are in the body. We are sending the book. We are sending the request, and we are getting the. We are just printing whatever result we get back in the logs. So let me send this request add book. Okay, since we have modified it, we will need to restart the application. Okay, let me restart this since our script has changed. Click on add book. OMI is working fine. Add book. So we are getting 403 because CSRF, there is CSRF issue. We are not providing CSRF token in the request. So how can we do that? So two uh, there are two setups needed. One is we need setup at the backend, and another setup is the front end. So in the backend, there is this convenient way provided by Spring Security. So you can just do csrf.spa. So let me go to security config, and here. So basically it is like this. So in this case, it will configure this CSRF protection for single page applications. So we can replace lambda with method reference. Okay, and let me restart the application, and I will explain to you what happens. So this will store the CSRF token in a cookie. In this cookie XSRF token, and it will send that cookie back to the front end. Now the front end will need to send this cookie back in a header called XSRF token, and then backend will compare the value of these two and will allow deny your request. So there are some frameworks, some front-end frameworks which already do this by default. For example, Angular, if I am not mistaken. But for most of the frameworks, you will need to create some request interceptors, so which can intercept the outgoing request, and there based on the request method and the domain where you are sending the request, you can you can add this header from this cookies value. So very easy. We are already doing that. Let me go here. So we are reading this cookie, and this we are getting its value, and we are putting that value in this header x accessRF token. Let me save it, refresh it. So that's all we need for CSRF. And let me restart the application. Bob, or why am I Bob? Want to add a book. Now, if you see in the application, we have these cookies. We have new cookie accessRF token. Earlier, we only had JSON ID. Click on add book. This, so we are getting 200. This is the response we are getting. And here, if you see in the request headers, we are sending this header x accessRF token, and its value is same as this value of this cookie. So uh, that's how we send mutating request using by configuring the CSRF. Now let's look at the watch mode. So if you have seen, like whenever you made any small change in the front end application, we needed to restart the Spring Boot application, and restarting the Spring Boot application will may take a lot of time because currently we only have like a simple project, but there can be multiple projects and big projects, so it may take a lot of time. So it's not an efficient way to develop single page applications. So what we want is we want to build the single page applications in watch mode. So if any file changes, then the project should be rebuilt, and its output should be put in the root projects build directory inside this template, and then app1 or app2 automatically. So how can we do that? So it's very easy. We just need to create this another task here, watch waiver. So let me copy it and explain it to you. So inside app1, I will provide this task, watch waiver. Okay. So what we are doing is now this depends on uh, your build tool as well, which you are using for single page application, like how that support the building in the development. Okay. So say we are using React script, and React script does not support anything like that. So what we are doing is we are setting the environment, this environment will build path. Now this time the path is different. Now we are directly building the app in this path, parent, that will root project, build resources, main templates, app1 directory. And we are running this build watch uh, command. So this is defined in package.json, obviously. So let me go to package.json. So here we have build watch. And in order to accomplish this build watch, we are using a dependency called npm watch. So this is a dev dependency npm watch. And we are, so npm watch will watch the files, and if whenever something changes, now which file to watch, you need to provide the configuration here. So we are providing this configuration watch. So uh, this is the configuration for npm watch, and this is for build. So for example, we are saying npm watch build, then we need a configuration for build. So here we specify the patterns. So now here we are saying dot, that means if any file changes, we build it, and we ignore the build directory. uh, Otherwise, if we add the build directory as well, then it will build the project, and obviously something will change in the build directory, then it will build it again. So it will be like it will build it two times. So we want to avoid that. So we want to watch for changes for all the extensions, and quite is false, so it will do some logging. So that's what we are doing here. And yeah, so this will put the files in that location. So let's try that. Let me restart the application, and now I will run this watch web app. Okay. gradle w app one watch web app. Okay. So yeah, so it will watch for the file changes. Let's change some file. So I will go to, let's go to app.js, and here instead of home page, let me call it my home page, save it. So this will build. So you can see this rebuilt these things. If I go to here, inside app one, index.html static js, it created this file. Let me copy for home page. So you can see my home page. So we can see that it will change the title. And let me go here. Let me refresh the page. Okay. Go password. Okay, it says my home page. Okay, let me change it again. Our home page. Save it, and should have been built. See, it is building it again. Just taking some time. Okay, build is done. So this is the new file. Home page. Our home page. Go here. Refresh it. We are getting this error 404 not found. Okay, it is trying to access this JavaScript file. Why is it happening? Because the JavaScript file name is changed, but it is still trying to get the same file. And that is due to the caching, which is enabled by default by Spring and Timeleaf. So we need to disable that cache. So for example, uh, yeah, here. So what I do is I will create a new file called application local.properties, because you don't want to disable the cache in the production. So src main resources, let me create a new file, application local.properties, and here I will put these configurations. Yeah. So we are disabling the time leaf and Spring Web Resources cache. And but now we need to run the application in with this local profile active. So if you see here, edit configuration. So in order to activate the local profile, we use this environment variable Spring profiles active equal to local. So it will be activated. Let me restart the application. So now I will just show you that the profile is active here. The following one profile is active local. So the local profile is active. And let me refresh it. So it says our home page. So I will go here again in the app.js, and I will call it my home page, and let me put a few spaces here. I will save it, and I will restart the app. It says my home page. So there are not those many spaces because HTML uh, trims more than one spaces. So in order to add multiple space, you can say like @nbsp. I think this is this should work. I use saved the file, replace, and you can see multiple spaces. So that's how this you can run it in watch mode. So we have seen for one application. Now I will quickly show you the process for like two applications. That was one application. I will stop it. So how when you want to create a new application. So let's go through these steps quickly. Okay. So first of all, create a new subproject. I will go here, create a new module called app2. Uh, Yeah, I will keep them as it is. Now we need to add this plugin. I will add this plugin in app2. Okay, let's sync it. And then tabs two. Yep. Then we need to add this configuration, and I will put that here. Okay. So node will be downloaded, and this will be the version. Now after that we will need to run this command, but for app2. So node it is doing node setup, so it will download node in .gradle. So this is the nodejs. And now we need to create these three files for node npm and npx. So let me do that. So cp app1 node inside app2 node. Okay, and let me show app2 node. Sorry, app2 node app2 npm cp app2 node app2 npx. Okay, so here we have created these files. So let me verify node with 24.12.0 Darwin ARM64 bin. Okay. For npm, I will replace node with npm. For npx, I will replace node with npx. Now we will be able to use these. So if I go here, if I say npm version, it is 10.2, 10.8.2. Let's go to app2. I will say npm version 11.6.2 and npm version 10.8.2 and 11.6.2 and so on. Okay. Now we can use these npm, npx or node scripts. Now let's create a new view app. So I will put the link in the reference. So we need to go to the directory. So we are already inside the directory, I guess. Yeah, we are inside app2. Then we just run this .npm view test. So this will install the following package, and we are okay to proceed. So project name, let me call it my app, and let's use TypeScript. We don't want to use JS support. Router, yes, PNR, vtest, end-to-end testing. Let's say unit testing, ESLint, get tier. We want everything. And select experimental features to include in your project. I don't want to add anything. Skip all example code and start with a blank view project. No, so we want some example code so that we don't need to build that. So I don't want to skip, so I will just select no. So it asks us to do this like go inside my app. But if you see inside app to be created is my app, but we don't want that. We want to copy everything from my app to this app only. Now ls my app, there is nothing. So I will just remove my app. Okay. So now everything is here. And so we don't want to run .npm install or build uh, using that. We will create gradle task for that. So npm install is already provided by the plugin. Let me just copy this one and I will put that here to build the app. Okay, npm task is provided by the Gradle node plugin. So it depends on npm install. So we just run npm run build. It depends on so these are the inputs, and so in the output it is dist. So because by default the vite build into dist directory. So if I show you package.json, so it uses vite build tool, and that build will use dist directory by default. So uh, that's that. Okay, so we have created this one. Now we want that the process resource to depend on this build web app. Now we need to configure the root project. So we have already configured. So we don't need to configure it again and again. It will check for build web app task, and we have build web app task here. So now we are good here. Yeah. Now we need to specify some controllers. So let me go to uh, web controller, and here I will copy. Let me copy this thing, and I will remove this redirect to app1, and this will be for app2 index, app2 path, and app forward app. Okay. The next is we need to fixing these problems. So in order to access assets, yeah. So we have seen that in order to access assets, we needed to change home page for React scripts, but for Vite, we need to change this one, this base property in vite.config.js. And that vite.config.js, we will add this property base and its value is app2. Okay, like this. So you can do this as well. So everything is fine. Okay. And templates. So we have already added these templates in for the static locations. Now in the Vite, so I don't know like which routing library or whatever we are using. So there we don't have this problem which we solved for React Router DOM. Okay, I think we solved this problem as well. And then for Spring security configuration, we did that. And accessing, so we won't access any backend resource from app2. And yeah, we need to configure this watch mode. So for Vite, so yeah, so go to package.json. So I've created this new script build watch, and it will just do this Vite build in watch mode. So whenever some file changes, it will build it again. And this is the output directory. Build resources main template app2 inside root project. Okay, but now here um, we want to generally in development we want to build in development mode. That means we don't want to optimize the build. We want the build to be fast, whether it is optimized or not, because we want to see the changes as quickly as possible. So that's why we have this one in this watch web app. We set environments node development. So it will check for this environment variable. If its value is development, then it will not optimize the build. So I will copy that and I will put that here. So watch web app depends on npm install node development, things like that. Save it, and yeah, let me start the application. So I have app1 npm install, app1 build web app. Then it will do an app to npm install. So it will take some time because we have not done npm install in app2. Now it is doing build web app in an app2. and it is starting the Spring application. And here you can see the profile, local profile is active. So we will look good. Let me just go to app one and hello, Bob password. So we are inside hello. This is working. This is as well working. Let's go to dashboard, and this is the token. Okay, we are getting 403. Yeah, because Bob is not admin. So yeah. So since Bob is not admin, we are getting 503. So let me log out, and I will log in using Alice. And this is the token. Okay, so this is my home page. Hello, tic-tac-toe. Let's go to dashboard. Now we need to provide password as well. And we are inside app 2. So this is home page. You can go to about page. Now let's see this one, watch mode, gradle W, gradle W app 1, or let's do for app 2, watch web app. Okay. Now let me go to app 2 here, and I will change something. Source app.view. Yeah, it says you did it. Let me add something here. You did it, and this one. Okay, save it. So it has rebuilt. Refresh it, and we see you did it and check marks. So uh, we are able to build web app in watch mode as well. I will stop the application, and I will stop this as well. So this repository will be available, and in the repository, a set of new app.md will also be available in the docs. And so if you want to create a new app, you can go through this file and uh, perform the actions accordingly. Also in the README file, uh, the steps to build the app, create Docker image, and everything is available along with the references. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching it. I hope you found this to be useful. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will meet you in the next one. Bye.